Welcome to Tiny Home Blueprints. Today, we're exploring a budget luxury tiny home with a dream kitchen. Let's dive in. They want you to believe a dream kitchen needs 200 square feet and a $70,000 budget. It doesn't. I'm about to show you a tiny home kitchen with real quartz-look counters, soft close cabinets, and a designer layout, built into a home that costs less than most people's kitchen remodel alone. And the secret isn't cutting corners. It's knowing exactly which corners the industry pads for profit. If you've ever thought luxury and tiny home don't belong in the same sentence, stay with me, because by the end of this video, I'm going to break the one rule that's costing tiny home buyers thousands of dollars they didn't need to spend. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this is episode 1 of a brand new series, Tiny Home Secrets They Don't Tell. Every episode, we're exposing one thing the tiny home industry doesn't want you to know before you sign a contract. Trust me, you'll want to be here for what's coming in episode 2. Let's get into it. Here's a number that confuses almost everyone shopping for a tiny home in 2026. Tiny homes cost $300 to $400 per square foot to build, while a traditional home runs $150 to $200. That's double for a fraction of size. Sounds backwards, right? Smaller should mean cheaper. But here's the secret. A 300 square foot tiny home still needs a full kitchen, a full bathroom, a complete electrical panel, plumbing, and HVAC. The exact same systems a 2,500 square foot house needs. Those fixed costs don't shrink with the square footage. They just get squeezed into a smaller box, which is why your kitchen and bathroom end up being the two most expensive rooms in the entire build per square foot of any home you'll ever own. That's not the industry lying to you. That's just physics and plumbing. But here's where the real secret lies. Because once builders know you understand that kitchens are expensive, some of them use that as an excuse to upsell you on everything, when only a few specific choices actually drive the cost up. Most tiny homes in 2026 land somewhere between $30,000 and $80,000 for a solid, professionally built home with decent finishes. The luxury ones, the kind with real quartz, designer lighting, and hotel-grade bathrooms, tend to start around $80,000 and climb toward $130,000 depending on size. Go custom with premium everything. And yes, you can blow past $150,000. But here's the part nobody puts in the brochure. Most of that luxury feeling comes from maybe 15% of the total budget, and it's almost entirely concentrated in one room. The kitchen. Let's talk about the single most upsold item in any tiny home build, the countertop. Walk into a builder's showroom and ask for quartz, and you'll usually get quoted somewhere between $50 and $150 per square foot installed. For a small kitchen, that can mean anywhere from $1,500 to $4,500 just for the counter. Builders love quoting quartz first because it sounds premium and it's an easy upsell. Here's the secret. You can get that exact same expensive kitchen look for a fraction of the price. And most builders won't volunteer this option unless you ask for it directly. Butcher block, real hardwood counters, maple, walnut, white oak, run $50 to $150 per square foot too. But the low end is genuinely low. A basic 6-foot unfinished butcher block slab can be found for under $200. Full custom installations with premium hardwood and finished edges land around $3,750 to $4,500 on average. Right in line with quartz, but with a warmer, more expensive-looking finish that's actually trending harder than quartz in 2026 kitchen design. And here's the trick the pros use that almost nobody talks about. You don't have to pick one or the other. Mix them. Put butcher block on a small island or a mobile prep card, and use a lower-grade quartz-look laminate, which runs as low as $15 to $40 per square foot, around the sink and stove where moisture and heat matter most. Roughly 3 in 10 kitchen remodels are already doing exactly this dual material approach, because it looks more expensive than an all-one material kitchen, not less. That single swap, butcher block plus laminate instead of all quartz, can save you well over $1,000 in a space this size, and most viewers watching this have never heard contractor mention it. That's secret number 1, but it's not even the biggest one. Stick around, because the next secret is about a design trick that makes your entire kitchen look 30% bigger for the cost of a can of paint. 2026 has an actual design term for this: affordable luxury. It's the idea that you don't need to gut and rebuild a kitchen to make it feel high-end. You just need to strategically upgrade the visible details while keeping the invisible structure standard. Designers call this the jigsaw kitchen. One or two premium touches surrounded by budget-smart choices that photograph and feel just as expensive. Here's what that looks like in a tiny home, room by room. Lighting. This is the cheapest, highest impact upgrade in the entire kitchen. And it's the one builders almost never push because there's no big markup on it. Layered lighting, ambient overhead, task lighting under the cabinets, and a warm accent light. Makes even a 60 square foot kitchen feel like a boutique hotel. LED strip lighting under the cabinets alone can transform the whole room, and it costs next to nothing compared to what it does visually. Color. The era of the plain white kitchen is over. In 2026, the move is warm neutrals, grayish, warm linen, dusty cream, paired in two tones. Darker lower cabinets, lighter upper cabinets. This isn't just a style trend, it's a spatial trick. Light, reflective upper cabinets recede and make the ceiling feel taller, painting the ceiling the same shade as the walls. One thing almost nobody does, removes what designers call the boxed-in effect, which is the single biggest thing making a tiny kitchen feel like a tiny kitchen instead of a designed one. Hardware. Push to open. Handle-free upper cabinets remove visual clutter without costing more than a standard cabinet. Keep the tactile pulls on the lower cabinets where your hands actually need them, and go handle-free up top where the eye lands first. It's a 5-minute hardware choice that changes how custom the whole kitchen reads. Appliances. A full-size induction cooktop and panel-ready or slim stainless appliances are now the standard expectation in a good tiny home build, not an upgrade. If a builder is trying to charge you extra for a premium appliance package, that's just normal appliances. That's a red flag worth asking about directly. Put those 4 things together: smart lighting, two-tone warm color, handleless uppers, standard integrated appliances, and you get a kitchen that reads as a $70,000 remodel, sitting inside a home that cost a fraction of that. That's not a trick. That's just where the actual value lives. And it's the same formula the highest reviewed budget luxury, tiny home builders in the country are using right now. Now here's the part of the video that's genuinely going to save you money. So don't skip this. When you get a quote for a tiny home kitchen, that number almost never includes everything. Here's what regularly gets left off the sticker price. Plumbing rough-in, if it's not already run to that spot, can add $400 to $2,000, plus $2 to $10 per linear foot for pipework. Permits, hookups, and inspections, required in almost every jurisdiction, typically run $2,000 to $8,000 depending on your city. And if you're going with a home on wheels instead of a foundation build, a proper heavy-duty trailer alone adds $4,500 to $9,000 before a single cabinet goes in. This is the part that catches almost every first-time tiny home buyer off guard. Labor alone accounts for roughly half of your total build cost when you're hiring a contractor instead of doing it yourself. So when a builder quotes you a rock-bottom material price, ask directly what percentage of the total is labor, permits, and delivery, because that's usually where the budget, quote, quietly turns into a not-so-budget final invoice. The honest, unsugar-coated truth for 2026. A genuinely livable, code-compliant tiny home with a real kitchen and bathroom is not a $5,000 build, no matter what a thumbnail promises you. But it's also not automatically a $150,000 build either. The sweet spot where quality, luxury finishes, and honest pricing actually meet is real, and it exists. You just have to know what you're paying for before you sign anything. Let's make this concrete. Here's what different budgets realistically get you for a tiny home kitchen in 2026 based on current builder pricing. At around $30,000 to $50,000 for the whole home, expect a functional kitchen with standard cabinets, a basic countertop, and full-size appliances. Comfortable, but not dream kitchen territory yet. At $50,000 to $80,000, you start seeing the affordable luxury formula kick in. Upgraded cabinetry, better lighting, a butcher block or hybrid countertop, and thoughtful layout design that makes the space feel intentional rather than cramped. At $80,000 and up, you're in true budget luxury territory. Real quartz or a premium butcher block, designer lighting layered 3 ways, panel-ready appliances, and finishes that would look at home in a $700,000 house, just built into 300 to 400 square feet. The takeaway here isn't spend more. It's that the jump from basic to genuinely luxurious in a tiny home kitchen is smaller than almost anyone expects. Often just $20,000 to $30,000 separates fine from dream kitchen. And most of that gap is countertops, lighting, and cabinet finish, not square footage. So here's the one-sentence version of everything we just covered. In a tiny home, luxury doesn't come from size or from paying for the most expensive version of everything. It comes from knowing exactly which 4 or 5 details actually read as expensive and spending your budget only there. Butcher block instead of all quartz. Layered lighting instead of one overhead fixture. Two-tone cabinets instead of flat white. Handleless uppers instead of hardware everywhere. Standard integrated appliances instead of an upgrade package that isn't actually an upgrade. That's the entire formula. That's the secret the showroom won't lead with. Because there's more profit margin in selling you the expensive version of everything than in telling you where the real value lies. If this saved you from overpaying for a kitchen upgrade you didn't actually need, that's exactly what this series is for. Every episode, we're pulling back the curtain on one more thing the tiny home industry doesn't lead with. And next time, we're going even further. In our next episode, budget luxury, tiny home under $100,000 with premium finishes. I'm going to walk you through an entire full home build, not just the kitchen, and show you exactly how far $100,000 can actually stretch when you know where to spend it and where to save. There's one line item secret in that video that alone can save you 5 figures. And I promise you have not heard it anywhere else on this platform. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you there. Drop a comment below telling me, quartz or butcher block? Let's settle it.